Okay. Just want to break down the trade that I took today on Nvidia, what my plan was, what my thesis was, how I built this thesis, and so on. And also after today, I will start recording myself when trading, and that way, I can include the live trades at the end of every recap. I do think out loud, right? So it'll help, show what am I thinking in real time? Why am I taking this trade? What am I reading in real time? Why am I scaling out where I am and so on? So starting, after today, I will start including live trades at the end of every recap. Because, everything is easier to say and explain in hindsight. So I think having that raw footage and, in real time, just trading, what am I thinking? I think that'll really help a lot of traders be able to kind of just learn, right? The biggest advice I can give, something that's really helped me, is when I'm trading in real time, I'm talking out loud as if I'm having a conversation with someone. Like, the reason I'm going long here is X, Y, and Z. The reason I'm exiting here is X, Y, and Z. And it truly does help. So, just a little tip to share something that I do. It's helped me in my journey, it's helped me along my way. So, hopefully, it can help you. So, now let's get into it. Now, my pre market plan coming into today on Nvidia, right, was a pullback long off this 184.50. This was something that I really wanted to hold, and this was a very big hold today. This was a really big hold today. Let's zoom out here on the weekly, right? How I built my thesis. Now, as we can see, right, this weekly 184.50, this was a key resistance level. We got that big break, bullish momentum breakthrough last week, and then starting today, right, with that pullback long retest. So let's zoom out here on the daily. As you can see, price did end up filling under this. This wick shows that buyer stepped up very aggressively, and then as you can see here, we ended up getting this candle closure above. So that's something that I really wanted to see coming into today, was this key level hold, right? The reason for that being is I said, in my pre-market video, if we fell under this 184.50 and we turn this weekly support back into a weekly resistance level, this is a break of structure. This is a lower low on the higher time frame. So today, this key level holding, right? This was a very big deal. This was a very big hold, and that's something that we definitely wanted to see. Now, pre-market, right? I'm coming in, I'm looking that, okay, Nvidia is holding up. Let's zoom in here on the 2 minute, right? We ended up falling pre-market, came back up very aggressively. And as you can see here during the pre-market, right, this level is stepping up and it's defending. So buyers are defending this here. That is something that I was very intrigued by, and it was on my close watch list. Now, a couple of things on the intraday. A lot of things were pulling back today, right? If you look at the tech names, right, today was a pullback long type of day, right? But Nvidia was holding up when QQQ was pulling back, when the SPY was pulling back, even when Tesla had a very aggressive drop off at the start of open, right? Nvidia was holding up. So that was something that I liked. I was like, okay, there's a lot of divergence here against the overall market here on Nvidia. And just the beauty of, this 184.50, as you can see here through the entire day, we retested this thing 3 times, right? 3 times, and we ended up holding. This is something that you want to see, right? This gives conviction. So this was something that I was very intrigued by. I ended up entering a swing trade at the end of day. Of course, I sized down accordingly because this is a break and retest off the weekly, right? This is a big trade, and this was a big hold today. So, if we can hold above this weekly and continue higher, that is something that I definitely like. Now, as for today, right? I always say this. I always say this. My favorite setups when I'm looking for pullback entries is when we fail that key level and then we reclaim, right? Why? Because where there is pain, there is gain. This, like I've said before, right? These are people, these are shorts, right? These are retail traders saying, okay, we finally failed under this weekly. This is the reversal. We got back under this weekly. I'm going short, right? These retail traders, right, all these individuals who are trying to top this reversal and short this as we fell under this 184.50, right, they are the ones fueling this move higher, right? So when we fell a key level and we reclaim that with momentum, those are my favorite setups, right? I took that shot with no hesitation. Those are honestly my favorite setups when I'm looking for pullbacks. So we ended up getting that today. As you can see, we fell. We broke back above, good bullish momentum candle close. I waited for this candle to close, and I waited for this next candle to form. Once we went red to green, I went long here, right? My profit target was here. My stop loss was just a candle closure, right under this 184.50, and I entered on this candle here, right? So this was too good of a shot to not take. Now, everything is easier, to say in hindsight. And that's definitely why I'm going to start posting, my live trading at the end of every video. But everything is easier to say in hindsight. But in the intraday, right, I sold 90% of my position, really into this push here. The reason for that being is before all this was formed, right, this is a daily, I'm sorry, an intraday double top. I'm seeing that sellers are stepping in aggressively here and the overall market is pulling back. So I didn't want to get caught in a reversal and I didn't want to let a green trade go red, right? So sold there, and then I accidentally, it's very unfortunate actually, I definitely botched this trade. I accidentally sold my runners here. I sold 90% here. I left 10% of my position overall. And as soon as I sold that, we ended up getting that push. And, this was a lot of money left on the table. But nevertheless, I traded my plan, and that's really all that matters. So let's go here to TradeZilla. As you can see, I got into this trade here at 636, got out at 640. I sold majority into that push. Very unfortunate that I accidentally sold the rest of my runners right before we got that push. But like I said, always easier say in hindsight. And this was really, the main trade of the day. As we know, these options, they're best to trade and sell into momentum pushes, right? So this trade that's set up here and taking that reclaim, this is pretty much into the high of day. Yeah, we did retest this twice, but I promise you, this quick pop into the high of day is going to pay you more on that momentum push compared to, right, these pullback longs and that slow grind to the upside, especially a name like Nvda or Apple, right? So hope this helps, right? Really just my thesis, my exits, my entries, why I took this trade, how I built my thesis around this trade, and so on.